Hi, I'm Ben, and this is my review on Pinocchio. This came out a few weeks ago, or I think, I forget how long it came out, but I meant to review it, but I just get sidetracked with time, so now I'm here to review it. What I like about, I thought the CGI for Pinocchio was alright. I, I liked how they painted his eyes to be like the animation. I heard a lot of people hated this, and I've seen other reviews, and I guess it's not as good as the live action one. I mean the animated one. It's not as good as the original animated one. There are some problems. If I had to name some problems, Honest John, because this is supposed to be a live action remake, but here he's a talking fox and there's the talking cat, or the cat and the fox, and it's weird because Guillermo del Toro's gonna do a stop motion animated one, but he made Honest John into a human, but kind of give him some fox look, which is weird because they could have made him Honest John human in this version. Cause yeah, I know he's a fox in the book and the cartoon, but but I guess I do like that they're trying to be faithful to the source material, but I don't know. It's just there's different reimaginings to Pinocchio, and in a cartoon, seeing a talking fox and a cat made sense because it's a cartoon, but in live action, it just looks odd. But there is a side of me that likes how weirdly faithful they're trying to make this. I actually like that in its own weird way. But there are some weird choices um like in the original one he doesn't go to school, but Honest John's like, you want to be a movie star, hi dilly dee. But here he goes to the school and they kick him out like, we only accept children, not puppets. And I'm like, well, doesn't that kind of miss the whole point about going to school? And now you're teaching kids that it's okay not to go to school if you're facing prejudice. That seems kind of backwards messaging. Also, Monstro. Here, Monstro isn't a giant whale, he's a sea monster. Like, they try to give him tentacles. I guess it makes sense, but I don't know. I kind of don't know how to feel about that. Like, Monstro had a pretty cool design in this movie, but I don't know how to feel about that. Now, now, Tom Hanks as Geppetto, he was alright. Also, there's scenes with the clock, like there's Woody from Disney, from the clock. There's Woody from Toy Story on the clock, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. But then because of course it's a Robert Zemeckis film, and there's a scene with Roger Rabbit. Like, there's a scene with Clock Roger Rabbit, and then there's so many Disney Easter eggs, like Maleficent and so much, and I'm like, wow. And some people thought that was annoying, and I guess that can be too much for people, but I don't know, I didn't mind it. But uh, like the Roger Rabbit one made sense because it's a Robert Zemeckis movie, but and Robert Zemeckis worked on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but and Jiminy Cricket, he's voiced by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and he does actually do a good job voicing him. He doesn't sound like he actually does sound like an accurate Geppetto. I mean Jiminy Cricket, which is also Jiminy Cricket meet each other and Geppetto meet each other at the end. That never happens in the animated version, so it's interesting that they did that. Now they added a new character. I forget her name, but she has like a broken leg, and she communicates with Pinocchio with a puppet, which is really nice. There are some sweet moments with the two of them, which is not nice to see together. I thought she was a sweet character they added in the but now the scene with Pleasure Island. I thought that was creative because it's Robert Zemeckis, and I think him doing that was really creative, how he did Pleasure Island. And yes, there are some sensory, like in the original film, they smoke and drink beer, but here they're like root beer, yeah. And because due to modern things, because what I've heard, any film, any film that's meant for kids isn't allowed to show smoking. Yeah, like even if it's a PG-13 movie, there are people who protest and have to give a movie. Like I actually heard there's these people protesting that Rango should get a R-rated rating because they had smoking in it. Like yeah, so anything with smoking, even if it's anti-smoking, if you're just showing smoking in general, that means it's bad. But I don't know. You should teach your kids that smoking is bad. And I seen these movies when I was a kid, and I never took up smoking. I get the idea that smoking is bad. But yeah, I was worried that the donkey scene where you transform would be disturbing, but it was all right here. But still, the part where he says "mama" is really a bit upsetting. But I feel like how they did Laufey or Lampy or Loopy, whatever the mean boy is. I don't know. I feel like they cast a kid that looks too cute. Because in the original one, he kind of had a adult ugly, not ugly, but like that kind of design, so you don't feel too bad for him when he turns into a donkey. But I don't know. I feel like the kid was too cute in this, but that's a weird point out. But anyways, there is a thing because my mom and because there's these like cloudy, shadowy ghost creatures grabbing the donkeys, and I'm like, why is there ghosts grabbing things? And then I thought, well, this has a movie about a talking fox and people turning into donkeys, and a blue fairy and a talking cricket. So that's the question. But yeah, and yeah, they turn them into donkeys like in the original film, and we never know what happens to them later, like in the originals. But in now, the ending, they changed the ending. Like here, because remember in the original and other versions, we thought Pinocchio was gonna die, but then he turns into the real boy. Here, they're like, here it's Geppetto that we thought was gonna die. Then they used a tear that's kind of like in Rapunzel, where they brought him back to life. But here they're like, I accept you as whoever you are, real boy or puppet or not. And they kind of leave it to your imagination if he turns back to a real boy or not. Like, I kind of feels like that's kind of the message he wants to take. Like, Pinocchio wants to be a real boy, but that kind of misses the thing. I think they're trying to teach us you can accept people for who they are, no matter what they look like, which is a good message. But I don't know about here. Well, anyways, that's my review for Pinocchio. I hope you enjoyed it. I liked it. There are some problems, but I thought it was okay. I'm not one of those people that watches a bad movie and gets angry like, "Oh, I'm angry." I actually did kind of felt that way rewatching Batman vs Superman a while back, but I never felt like I felt punished for watching a movie. Like I don't get like I actually just watched the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie like a day ago and it's problematic, but I wasn't suffering. Like I think I enjoyed that movie ironically, but yeah, it's not a faithful adaptation. But this I enjoy. There are some weird problems, but I enjoy it just fine. But that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it and take care.